Happy afternoon, everybody. Glad to see all of you here, always stalwart individuals. We have a bunch of things on the agenda, and we have one thing that's not on the agenda that we're going to do first. So at this point, I'm going to ask Brooke Conway to unmute herself and tell us all about what she wants us to be participating in.
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Aloha. So for new folks or folks I haven't seen yet or haven't seen in a very long time, it's been a while since we've been able to gather in person. My name is Brooke Conway. I'm one of the counselors with the Student Parents Program. Also one of the Title IX confidential counselors here on campus for anyone who has Title IX issues. I'm one of the counselors you can refer to. Also the co-chair of the POW Violence Coalition on our campus. The reason I'm talking today, and I'm usually, got my dog picture up or something or other, I'm wanting us to do a little self-care activity today. I think we're 8 months into this pandemic. So we're just gonna do a short activity today. This was something that we created during our summer bridge program with our IS students. It was received very well, just some really great reminders during this time while we're dealing with all the other things in the world and transitioning and doing everything online, that it's also a really important time to take care of ourselves and just do some of the things, the basic things to take care of ourselves during this time. And I've had a couple of colleagues really encouraged to share this with the campus. So thank you to Vern Ogata as well as Kara. So we're gonna be doing this today. So first, what I want you to do, so we're gonna do a little scavenger hunt. This is gonna be very short. I know mostly everybody is camera off. I do invite you, just because we'll share some of these items, to put your camera on, because we will be doing some sharing. And then you can go back to your black screen afterwards. I promise this won't take long. So I'm gonna put a list in the chat. There's going to be 6 items here that I'm going to have you go collect, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to go get all these things. All right, so I'm going to put that in there now. So the first thing I'm going to have you get is a fork, a pair of chopsticks, a utensil, or even a snack, just something that you would either use to eat or something that you would eat. Second item is a pillow or some kind of plushie. I've seen all kinds of stuff: couch pillows, bed pillows, animal pillows, whatever you got around you. Number 3 is a pencil or a pen, something you would use to write. Number 4 is a cup, a flask, or a mug. Number 5 is a blanket, your favorite pareo, an ia lava lava, a sash or some kind of shawl, something you'd wrap yourself in. And number 6 is a picture of someone or something that you care about. It could be a physical picture, and something that's on your phone is also okay. Michelle, that's fine. If you can definitely participate without your camera if you want to just go get these items for yourself. So I'm going to give everybody about a couple minutes. Oh, Angela, you're just getting in. I did post it in the chat, but I will repost it again. Okay, so it's now in the chat again. So these 6 items. And when folks have all their items, can you maybe just give me a thumbs up? So I'm gonna set my timer for 2 minutes, but if I see pretty much everybody has them before then, we'll move on. Usually when students are doing this, I have to hide the list first and say it all verbally and give the instructions, because they'll all race and grab it and see who wins first before I even can get the whole list out.
I'm done.
Awesome.
I'm done.
Excellent.
Done.
Done.
Okay, I'm getting several thumbs up. Nava'a, you got your stuff. How about you, Noeal? I don't see you anymore. Feel free to substitute any of Renner's toys for any of those items.
I'm almost there. One more.
And it's okay if folks don't have all the items. If there's something that you just don't have access to, that's fine. You could just use your mind's eye to imagine the thing that you would want to hold. Okay, about 30 more seconds. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So I invite everyone, I'm gonna call up each item, and whatever you have, I encourage you we'll all hold up and share what our item is for each category. And we'll just take a moment to just observe and acknowledge and honor the diversity of all of our items. And then we'll just say a few reminders for our wellness. So the first up is your fork, your chopsticks, your utensil, or your snack. Oh, got plenty chopsticks, couple forks. Auntie Coco's got something good. She's always got something good. And a ladle, some spoons. Oh, John, you have fig Newtons. I haven't seen those in a long time. Okay, so your fork and your chopsticks, your utensil or your snack is a reminder to make sure that you eat. This is one of our most basic needs. Remember, especially during this time, to keep yourself nourished and fed, and that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. All right, our next item is your pillow or your plushie. And I'm not taking off my background because I have unfolded laundry behind me that I don't want anybody to see. Ooh, everyone has really pretty pillows. And they're plushies. Oh my gosh, those are adorable. So your pillow or your plushie, whatever soft item, your little animal, whatever it is that you have in hand is a reminder to sleep and to rest. We're all working hard right now, and we're working in very new and novel ways to support and care for others, our families, and ourselves. And we're being stretched in ways that have extended our skill sets and also tapped our precious energy sources. And restoring this energy is key to sustaining ourselves for the long haul. So please do remember to get rest when you can. All right, next item is our pen or pencil, something you use to write. or your keyboard also works. Awesome. So your pen or pencil, especially, I don't have to tell you our instructional faculty here, something we use to reflect our thoughts and ideas and is key to our learning and growth. Use them well and use them often under times of stress. Putting these thoughts down, whether it's in a journal, a poem, a song, or a mele, can help shift our energy and release stress. All right, next item is our cup, flask, or mug. Ooh, it's got really pretty mugs. Awesome. Okay. Your cup is a reminder to drink plenty of water, the life force that sustains us and keeps us healthy, resilient, and strong. I don't have to tell anyone here, this is especially important for us because of our warm climate, and that hydration is key for our health. But this is also a symbol that we are also vessels that carry a sacred and powerful life force within us. And may this cup serve as a reminder to keep your cup full and fill it when it seems empty. Okay, next up is your blanket, your favorite pareo, y lava lava, sash or shawl or fluffy sweater. I just lost mine. Very nice. Okay. So your blanket, your pareo, your ia lava lava, sash or shawl is a reminder to wrap yourself in warmth, kindness, your culture, and to love on yourself as much as possible. You deserve compassion, comfort, and care at all times, and especially during these times. May this be a symbol of protection and guidance toward a continued path of loving kindness towards ourselves and building a beloved community amongst us. Okay, last but definitely not least, please get your picture of someone or something that you care about. Oh, I see babies, fur babies, families, awesome. So this picture is a reminder of who or what is important in your life's journey. And this person, place, thing, or idea may act as your North Star, guiding you, reminding you, and motivating you to do your best. This picture may also be your why, or one of the reasons you are here and working tirelessly and selflessly. And may this picture remind you to keep going, even in times of great adversity, and to remind you that you are loved and that you matter. Thank you everyone for sharing and allowing me some space today to remind ourselves to take care of ourselves. May each of you have some time to do at least one of those things for yourself today. And these reminders just be those little pieces that help keep it all together. It's trying times as we continue to move through uncertainty, and I just sending love and aloha to all of you, and just to take good care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brooke. And I see everyone is giving you thanks and props in the chat. So I hope you have a chance to review all of these thank yous. And I think that I might not look at my cup the same way or look at my fork the same way, and remember that we do need to take care of ourselves in these very difficult times. So thank you for making sure we spend a few moments to really think about that and incorporate that more into what we do every day. Not just get up every day and go to work and grind, but just really take care. Thank you. Thank you for that. Pat Taylor's taking a nap. She got all the plushies and her favorite blankie, and now she's going to take a nappy poo. Okay. Roman, you're on. The Board of Student Activities would like to share some thoughts.
Yes, I will actually pass this to Linda, and Linda will introduce herself and talk about what's to come.
Thank you, Roman. Hi, everyone. My name is Linda, and I am the Secretary of the Board of Student Activities. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak to everyone today. So we just wanted to share an upcoming event that BOSA is holding with Student Congress and the Food Pantry. It's called Fuel for Finals. And the purpose of the event is to give students care packages for that's filled with essential goods for them to help them throughout the pandemic and to get through the semester on a strong end. So we came up with a list of essential items we thought people would need, such as hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, and toiletries, as well as food pantry goods, and sent the list to students. And we have around 200 people signed up to receive the packages, and each person will receive their choice of 5 items along with food from the food pantry. Thank you to Lavache for helping us with that. And so we thought of the event after seeing Student Congress's survey, in which 30% of student respondents said they did not eat at least once per week due to food insecurity and just not having enough money to pay for it. So especially during a pandemic, we thought if people don't have enough money to buy food, they probably don't have the means to get supplies that everyone needs to stay safe during COVID. And so with that said, we would like to extend the chance to faculty and staff who may have extra supplies at home. And so if you have any essential items that you would like to that you're not using and would like to donate to us to help students, we would greatly appreciate it. And if you are interested, I will send a link with the Google Doc that has more information about when and how, what items we need and how to drop it off. We will also appreciate an hour or two of your time since we need around 5 extra volunteers because on that day of pickup, which is December 7th, BOSA, Congress, and the Office of Student Activities will be there all day from 10 to 5 and working to pass on items to students. So if anyone has an hour or two and would like to help us on that day, it's a Monday, then we would appreciate it very much too. And any contribution will be appreciated, and we sincerely thank you for helping the students in need. So I'll send the link in the chat.
Yes, please. And for all of those other folks who are not on this, could we ask that you send it to me in an email so I can distribute it more widely? Because there's not everybody on this, although there's lots and lots of people. I
Yes,
want to
I
make
will.
sure that that request, the request for things that you might need and also for volunteer hours, I want to make sure it goes out to everybody. So please.
Okay, I'll send it in the chat and I'll also email you. And one last thing, this Friday, BOSA is having a virtual talent show and we will be streaming it on YouTube starting 6 p.m. Thank you to the faculty and staff who submitted artworks and talents to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda. Anyone have questions for Linda or other thoughts and suggestions? Thank you for the link in the chat. And while we're on the subject of stress and students, I just got something in the private chat about the W grade. Is there any thought, this is one for Noel actually, about changing the deadline, the drop date, or the W date, making it, towards the end of semester in case people really want to bail at that time rather than now? Have you guys had any discussions?
No, so I think, this semester, unlike spring where we extended the draw deadline as a system, we're not doing it this time as a whole. So the system decided that that's not something they're going to pursue. So that options are off the table for students in terms of our normal processes. What I will tell you, especially for the instructional faculty, if you are working with students and for whatever reasons that they have reported to you, or you are in support of offering the student a W instead of the grade, these are something you want to just email my office about, and I can kind of talk to you about the process, because in the end, the instructional faculty, you have control over the grade that you give. So if it is a certain situation where you haven't heard from the student in the past 2 weeks and they never dropped the course and now you're hearing from them and you want to present that option, let me know, because I think with your guys' support, it's a lot easier to do, especially when we have some background information of the student. So really quickly, in terms of can the student do it by themselves? No, they cannot. They can submit an appeal, which would go through our office. But if you are supporting that decision, that would be a lot easier if you are emailing us along with the student's name, so then we can already expect that. So that's kind of like a long answer to your short question. There's always different options. You just need to communicate with us and we can kind of find a resolution.
Thank you, Noel. Okay, I'm going to launch into some stuff that I wanted to share with you. Where in the world is HSSI? It's not going to happen in March. So don't think that you're going to be meeting up with your colleagues and having the usual, even virtual Zoom HSSI. It's not going to happen. But we still do have the first Friday in March as a non-instructional day. And our campus is planning some things. And I want you to make sure that you mark it off on your calendar. First Friday in March. I don't even remember what day it is. I know somebody's going to immediately put it in the chat, but the first Friday in March is non-instructional and it will be a campus activity, one that is supportive of the institution and our programming. So thank you, Shannon. March 5. Non-instructional day, but a very important day on the campus. And we will be doing some important things. I'm not at liberty to say because it's still in the planning stages. If anybody who's one of those planners wants to jump in right now and say something, that's okay. I'll leave you a minute right now to share if you're feeling that you can at this point. Okay. That's that. Also, I wanted to say we need to be mindful of alerting the appropriate people if we are informed of a student or employee that is herself or himself testing positive or has a first contact or is the first level of contact to somebody. Please don't hold on to that information. If a student tells you, even if it's an online class, a student tells you they've tested positive, please make sure you let Noel and Brian know. We don't want to find out 2 months later that this has happened. So please do, if you are informed, say something to Noel and or Brian. It's really important that we are aware, even if it didn't happen on the campus, but especially if it happened on the campus, that would be really critical. Joanne, I'm sorry, let me jump in and say, Joanne, you wanted to announce or share something?
Yes. So first of all, last spring we didn't have a commencement, so we did Padlets, if you remember. This fall we were going to do a drive-through commencement, but that fell through as well. So we were thinking that maybe we will be asking for videos from faculty and staff, just congratulating the graduating folks. We haven't gotten it all done yet. We're not all set up yet, but I just want to let you guys know so that you could just do a quick one on your phone and just say, wow, congratulations, graduates. You made it through a tough semester, whatever, and we'll give you that opportunity. Roman will be pulling the videos together. So that's what we're planning for the fall. we're thinking of maybe a virtual spring 2021 commencement, but we haven't worked through any of the details yet. One last thing is that we sent out the 2019-2020 commencement booklet today, and there were errors in the booklet. So we will correct them and resend it. So if you receive requests for corrections, please forward them to me, joannewh@hawaii.edu. So yeah, that'll be really helpful. Thank you.
And Roman reminds us that we should do our videos at landscape, not vertical. Okay. Another thing, if you folks have questions, there's a lot of uncertainties right now. We know the governor has still not released the budget. We don't have our allocations, I should say, let's be precise. We don't have our allocations yet. There's no word from the governor about pay cuts other than ours, furloughs. There's no word from the governor about any kind of retirement incentives. There's a lot of uncertainties going around. So please, I beg of you, if you have questions, please ask your program administrator. We might not always have the answer ourselves, but we could find it for you. I hear people making up scenarios based on no information, misinformation, disinformation, conspiracies abound. Please, if you're uncertain about information that you're getting, get confirmation. Things that start with, I heard that, right away you want to ask somebody, where's your information? Where is that coming from? I'm just hearing about things that are being discussed that have no basis in fact, and it makes me very, very nervous. I plead with you, if you have questions about information that you're getting, please check with your program administrator, check with me, find out what is fact, not somebody's misinformation. Let me tell you a little bit about spring, and I've already been asked, what about fall 2021? So for spring 2021, we are seeing declines in enrollment. And even before declines in enrollment, we're seeing declines in applications as well. So I got some things to share with you, which I'm going to do now. And be thinking about your questions about this. Okay. And now, okay. So I expect that you're seeing this, yes? Okay. So here's the applications. It's a lot of pictures, and you can see, this is us right here, Kapiolani. So far, we have 1,326 applications. We've accepted 1,993 of intentions, 251 have registered, and we accept 83%, but only yielding 22%. And I want you to look at this one right down here. See this? Bottom right corner. This is backwards in time, and this is year to date. So at this period of time in 2017, we had 2,511 applications. And as you go along, you see that right now we're at 1,326. So we're about and compared to last year, we're about 1,300 applications behind. And that's for new students coming in. And we can break it down by early admit, by high school. So you'd be comparing like last year, this is last year, to this year. This is for our early college, high schools coming in, GED. And I'm sorry, I don't know what freshman graduate student transfer is. If somebody knows that, please unmute yourself. More by demographics. International students, 14 last year for spring, and again, now only 9. School age, working age, 273 applications last year, only 72 this year, and others. This is enrollment. So not only are we down in applications, we are down in enrollments. This is yesterday, 55 days before the first day of instruction across the different years. So Kapiolani's at 2,359 people compared to last year, last spring, at the same period, 55 days before the start of instruction, we are down 1,000. And this is the curve. It's going along the same way, but much, much less. So you see, we're not the only ones that are down. We are down across the system. I think Manoa is down 83% because their schedule is off on when students enroll. They're not going to end up 83% fewer students. It's just a timing issue for them, I think. But you can see everybody is down. Here it is by student type. So of the 2,359 students, we are down 28% in first-time students. You saw that through the applications. We're 1,000 behind. First-time students are students, if you look at, this is the definition of first-time students. These are people who are unclassified, baccalaureate, people coming in for other courses. We're down 41. We're down 26% in transfer students. We're down 42% in returning students, returning adult students. And we're down 29.3% in continuing students. So what does that mean for us? It means that we need to take care of the things that we can take care of, which is for the applications. As of yesterday, I heard from Jerry, we were 700 incomplete applications. That is, of the students who have put in applications, 700 are not complete. The UHCC system is going to be doing a major campaign to reach out system-wide to all of the students that have incomplete apps with text messages saying, are you okay? Do you need help? And then a second one as well, subsequent to that, if they didn't move on their applications. So there will be a system-wide look. The other thing that we can do is the students that we have now in the fall semester, encourage them, to register, make sure that they have that on their radar. Ask your students, have you registered yet? If they haven't, ask them what help they need. If there is some way that you can encourage students who may be struggling, maybe they're not sure they're going to register, have an opportunity to say something to them. You're doing great, or you seem to be having struggles. Can I help you with something? Or the last assignment that you did was really good. If we can say something specific to the student that is meaningful to that student, to encourage them to persist, to come back. This is a super hard semester for students, especially if they were here last semester and had to pivot to online. This is not what people typically sign up for a college program. Please do reach out to your students, encourage them, give them that extra acknowledgement. You know, it works for you, it works for me. Somebody tells you you're doing a good job. But specifically, you did a great job on your last assignment, or that last quiz you did was really good. You've improved. I want to see you do that. I want to see you try and do that. And Sheldon, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Just real quickly. So Jerry and I hosted a quick application workshop this morning with high school counselors, and we recorded it for those who couldn't make it, because on our listserv includes agencies like the American Job Center, folks who work with adults. And so we did talk about how students are submitting applications but not submitting. Jerry shared that number of the thousands that haven't submitted. So we're trying to get it into the community's mind that if they're working with clients and or students, to encourage them to press submit or maybe to follow up on them in making sure that their entire application is complete.
And I think that there are lots of students who struggle with the application itself. If any of you have ever, and I remember, Sheldon, going to McKinley High School trying to help students with that application. It's not easy. And if they're struggling with the application because, you know, English may not be their first language, or they're not used to this, they have nobody at home that they can talk to, then, you know, if there's a way to help them out, that would be great. The new one's not easy also. Oh, great. So with the enrollments currently down at 30%. Now, a little bit of a caveat. We started the fall registration down 30% as well, and we did manage to climb back. But we must make sure that we do reach out to our students and hold on to the ones we've got, get the students to complete their applications for those that aren't complete, and do whatever we can to help them across the finish line. Because lower enrollments, as you know, means really looking at what our class offerings are for spring and needing to make adjustments. Maria, do you guys have a timeline for how you're going to be making adjustments to class offerings for the spring? What's the date for cutting off any low enroll classes?
Okay, we usually do that like a week before the semester starts, but then we always get caught up with, you know, new students who still are registering, but for most of the classes, we usually do it like a week before school starts.
Okay. I know that's hard for people whose assignments hang in the balance, but we do like to give people a chance to enroll and then give them a chance to find other classes when we do cut them. And for fall, looking ahead, the conversations have already started at the system level about about fall. And it looks like right now, because everything is uncertain and we don't know, we're looking to do fall the same as spring. I mean, next fall, 2021, the same as spring, which is the same as fall this year. Maria, is that the talk that's happening at the VCAAs?
Yeah, at this point, everything is the same. No changes has been, you know, brought forward yet. So even summer, I think, is going to be same as summer last year.
Yeah, online. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Anything else that I have here? No, I don't have any other. Okay, one more thing. So sorry. We've talked a lot about the memo from Erica that identified some areas for centralization, areas for increasing property revenue, and some programmatic kind of things that needed to be looked at. So those conversations with the working groups have ended at this point. November 9th was the time that the work groups needed to present a report with recommendations. So I want to, again, thank everybody for the work that you did in those groups. Now, there's a second phase of that for some of the programs that weren't listed. And I did get asked today to ask Erica what the timeline is and what the convenings might be for the programs that were in phase 2. And I don't know that yet. But what I can tell you is the Board of Regents accelerated timeline. They are not going to have a December meeting. So the presentation to the board with the recommendations stemming from the work groups and the work that will happen thereafter is going to be at the January meeting, and that's January 7th. The recommendations that were made from the work groups, I believe we would have that posted. And I don't know if it got posted on Erica's website yet, but I believe that
There were still some changes that they were asking because some of the reports had, underlined things, and they think it's a link that's not linked to anything. So
okay.
changes are being done at this point.
Okay, so the reports from all the work groups will be made available. And the next steps will be, okay, having made those recommendations from the work groups, what happens next? And that's at the point where we are right now, where the chancellors are getting a chance to review these things and taking a look at what that might mean if we went ahead with the recommendations, and what would be the next step based on the recommendations, or what might the chancellors think going forward from those recommendations, pushing the scenario out a little bit further, mostly because we have to be able to couple the adjustments with where would the efficiencies be, what would we say or UHCC if we did these things, how would it impact campus operations, and what would that mean for the shortfall in the budget. So and I keep doing what we're doing because we're not going to have the resources to do it the same way, at least for the next 7 years, as the state tries to regain ground on the economy. So we can't keep doing what we're doing. What is it that we can do that helps us to do things better, more efficiently, optimizing the resources that we have? And then how are we going to save the university from the shortfall? So those are two things. We have to be strategic and we have to be fiscally responsible. And those two things are happening at, I think, different levels and different pacing. My thinking, and this is just me, I'm thinking that we will be looking at efficiencies, we will be looking at optimizing resources, and we will be looking at how do we create savings. And I'm not sure that we will get to whatever the number is, and we don't know the number, beyond $100 million is what has been put out there. And I don't know if that's the exact number. I don't know what the UHCC's share of that number will be. I don't know what the campus's number. We don't have a number. We're not given a number. But my feeling is that whatever plans we create based on the recommendations of the work group and based on all the other things that we're doing on the campus, I'm not so certain that we're going to get to whatever the number is going to be. So in my mind, I'm preparing myself for needing to go back and doing more, even though we've given it our best shot. I'm not convinced. This is me. I'm not convinced that we will get to the magic reduction that we need to get to. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. But my thought is, when we have gone through all the conversations, that we will be a better university. That is my commitment to myself, that whatever we do going forward with the programs, with the processes, with the administration, as I told you, administrative functions are on the table. It is not, going to be on the backs solely of faculty and professional staff. Administrative functions are on the table. And that is going to, my commitment to myself and to my college is that we will be a better college for it. And it's just not going to be easy. It's just not. Do we know how UH Manoa, Hilo, and West Oahu are progressing with their meetings and cost-saving plans? I believe, I don't know so much about Hilo and West Oahu, but Calvin, Manoa has been pretty transparent with where it thinks it's going, at least with the plans. They weren't so transparent necessarily with getting there, but I think they've put it out there for everybody to see. And they are pretty much in that same mode about looking at programs. Why do we need to offer such and such a program? And they were pretty serious about it. And I think if you look at what they are suggesting at Manoa, and I cannot speak for the other 4 years, but at Manoa, a lot of that. Thank you, Lisa, for putting up there. They are reaching out and saying, we need to partner with the community colleges. And in some instances, as I've said before, they are putting out there, we need to talk to Kapiolani. So they are seeing where they need to reach out to us for creating pathways for the students. So yeah, and again, Calvin, it's a good question. They're not exempt, but I don't know about Hilo and West Oahu. I haven't seen it the way it is for Manoa. Other thoughts, other questions, you guys? It's not, I mean, I'm laying out some bad stuff and I'm sorry. But the glass is half full, but it's just not full. It's half full. And I try to make lemonade as best as I can. Other suggestions, thoughts?
Hi, can I say something?
Of course.
So we're going to start be doing a little more aggressive things at the UH Foundation in hopes of raising more student funds for scholarships for aid. In December, we're going to have our first Giving Tuesday, and that's going to be highlighted on emails, and hopefully you all will be able to help me spread the news. We are going to tap into our social media and broadcast that. So that's help to our students. Students get money, they enroll, and then that proves the case that we are here for the important reason of educating them. So all hands on deck. Thank you for telling us this news every week as we try to keep our glass half full and keep going and doing different things. Thank you all for being wonderful educators. Hang in there.
Thank you, Lynn. Feel free, unmute yourself, put it in the chat, open for thoughts, comments. Any of you who worked on the work groups want to say something about process or recommendations or where you think it should go next? I know a bunch of you guys were involved.
For the natural sciences, and I guess it's also true for all the transfer programs, we will keep on meeting with the group to, like plan more on what things need to change, because at this point, it was all just a general idea of what we think we can do, but there's no specific things that we planned for. So we're gonna keep on meeting maybe twice more until December, when we have to submit or give a better idea of what we can do to make it more efficient.
Yeah. And it's different for different programs. We're not going to not offer liberal arts, although it was suggested that maybe Honolulu should not do liberal arts. that, it's not likely going to all go away. But how we do it is going to be different. Sheldon has a question, please.
So, for Manoa, do you think that because of this, they might be more open to accepting our CTE courses to meet their bachelor's degree requirements?
Well, good time to ask the question. I know that the host people, Rich has the answer. No, hospitality, Dave is opening the conversation with Tim or / Scheidler. So that is a possibility for hospitality. They've not been so willing to look at CTE for other reasons. CTE pathways have gone more to West Oahu. And I think there's probably no degree, AS degree now, that does not have a baccalaureate option. West Oahu has an allied health management thing that I think we can feed into from our programs. So there are baccalaureate pathways. Manoa is a tougher one for our CTE programs. They are not necessarily the most open for CTE. But there are some. MLT feeds the MT, MedTech. Nursing feeds.
Nursing and PTA now is helping to feed the new PT program.
Right. So there are some, little bit, but they have not been so open to the business programs. And that's part of the business conversation that happened with the work group too. Any other happy things to share? I just got a private message that says, everybody's so somber. It's true. And you know what happens when somebody says everybody looks so sad? The first thing you do is smile, right? So why are we all so sad?
There is, Brandon, maybe you can say something about it. The grant, one way for us to get some funding for innovations and things like that, now that we don't have any money at all, is to get money from external sources. So there is a grant, is that a workshop, Brandon, or something that's going to be conducted by John Rand and Bob Frankel?
Yes, thank you, Maria. Tomorrow we're going to be having another stop in our new employee orientation journey series. We're going to be featuring John and Bob talking about how to look for grant funding and also their anecdotes about what's worked over the course of their careers. So they've started as faculty in the classroom and have transitioned to becoming principal investigators for very large awards. And I know there's a number of people on this call as well who are PIs and continue to help our campus stay at the forefront of grant funding. So if anybody has questions about funds that they'd like to look for, send me a note and I'd be happy to look into our grant databases and work with people on applying for funds.
And please feel free to join in the workshop. Do you have a registration URL, Brendan, in case, because it's not just for new employees, it's for everyone.
Yes,
there it is. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, Kara.
Thanks, Kara. And it's in the bulletin. There's something that was sent out to the CAC. So please feel free to invite anybody else who would like to participate and send me a note if there's something you want to talk about tomorrow.
Okay. Last thoughts, anyone?
Okay, so I'm going to say something.
Okay, Lisa, I'm hoping.
Okay. Actually, I was just going to recognize Sheldon and his team for the podcast that they put out that featured a student of ours. and it literally captured the student experience. It's kind of a long 45-minute thing, but it was a student who had aspirations to go to the mainland, like many of our local kids do. Unfortunately, didn't have the kala, so I had to stay home, searched online for community college. Oh, KCC, first in the browser. Where does he start? Culinary. Goes to culinary. Didn't quite fit for him. Pivoted to host. Didn't quite fit for him either. Took a nursing assistant course, got into nursing, and went up our career ladder from the nursing assistant to the practical nurse, onto our 2-year associate RN degree, onto Manoa, got his bachelor's, and now he's in his doctorate program, just finished. So I'm just saying that, you know, there's rich stories of how students get attracted to this campus and shop around and then find their passion. And I want to thank Sheldon for the wonderful job he did. That student was my student. I remember him, teaching him, taking him to clinical, and then just being able to hear his story now. It's so very inspirational to not only our current students, but also for our future students. So mahalo, Sheldon, for taking the time and highlighting one of our graduates that represented us in many different ways. And I invite you to listen to his story because it was really very inspiring. So mahalo, Sheldon.
You know, it's always good to remind us of why we do what we do. And that's why we do it, to change lives. That's terrific. Steve, you want to ask your question out loud?
Okay, there we go. So a lot of us have been involved in our various working groups across campuses, looking for commonalities and how we can cooperate and all that, you know, good kumbaya stuff. So that's, for most of us, that's done. That was kind of horizontal kind of conversation. So I'm wondering, when are we doing the vertical conversation at our various campuses, in particular at Kapiolani, on how we can cooperate and find commonalities in our various programs, perhaps find efficiencies, et cetera, et cetera. Are we going to do that?
I think that those conversations will derive from whatever comes out of the recommendations for the working groups, because I think there's a lot of, you know, those, and we've had this issue about it's happening here and it's got to happen here, but whatever happens here is going to impact what happens on our campus. So it's like, okay, when do we have the conversations? It's got to be, okay, especially in you guys' areas like IT and business, there was a lot of conversation about, let's just do it this way. And depending on how that upstairs conversation happens, it might impact downstairs as well. But I think that in terms of looking at where we might have efficiencies on our campus, I think that's a great conversation to have, where we can isolate the things that we don't have to worry about other people in the system trying to do something. So that's something you might want to push ahead with your department chair and at an AAC meeting, looking at academic programs. Is there something that we can do? I know you guys did this a long time ago when you had a core for business. All the business degrees had the same, you know, first semester almost, right? And then you branched off into other things. So you did do some consolidations already. Are there other ways to do that? Are there things to do across in the different programs? Sorry, Steve, go.
Speaking of the timeline, you know, given that we have holidays up ahead, and then you said that the Board of Regents will be meeting in early part of January, I gather, and that's when I'm thinking they want to have their they want to have the input from all the working groups, horizontal and vertical, so they can then discuss things, you know, what's going to happen. So if we don't have this vertical conversation, not just in BLT, in my department, but across our campus, when is it going to happen? Between now and January, when the Board of Regents meets.
Yes. I would say that some of those conversations are happening already. Not at the program level yet, but they are going to be happening among your program administrators first, having a conversation about big picture things.
Good. That's all I want to know. I want to know if these things are happening. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's always these gears that are, it's just a little bit crazy. Thank you, Steve. All right, it's 2:00. And some of you have probably been on Zoom since 10 or 11, and you may have others coming up after this. So I thank you always for your attention, and be thinking about your fork, your cup, your picture, your lava, your plushie, and take care of yourselves. You need to take care of yourself. I tell you all the time, the flight attendants tell you all the time, put the mask on yourself before you help other people. If you're not well, you can't be helpful to others. So take care of yourselves, hug the ones you love and the ones you can. And I see you guys next week, Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Unmute yourself, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Aloha all.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Roots.
Bye.
Bye. Gotcha, Alfie. Bye.